All right. So once your name is on, we're going to open it up to our first page of notes. It says 1-1. This packet is the most important packet. It goes home with you and it comes back with you every single day. We take our notes in here. This is our note-taking page. Then you have your daily Common Core. This is the daily lesson that you tear out and turn in. We'll learn more about this in a second. After that, practice 1-1. There's an HW here. That HW stands for homework. This is your homework. This is what you will do at home. In this packet, you will not tear it out. You leave it in the packet. That way you can go back and look at your notes if you get confused about anything. On the back of it is an enrichment page. This is not homework. This is something that you'll do in class in small groups, or if you finish early and you've asked what to do next, and I say to do this. Other than that, you're not doing it. Then you've got another page of notes for the next lesson. 1-2. You got page of notes, and then your next daily Common Core. Can you complete it? You tear it out, you turn it in, it's for a grade. Then you have your homework. Then you have your classwork. Then you have the next lesson. So you see how everything is in here. What's great about this, let's go back to 1-1 now. What's great about this is if you are ever absent, you should already have this book at home with you. And if you are absent, all you have to do is go online and watch this video, and you can see what lesson you missed. And then you can do the homework for it. You can do the daily Common Core for it. And then the next day, whenever you come back to school, you come in with all the sheets that you missed and you turn them in like you haven't missed a day of school. That means no makeup work during recess or no extra homework at night. It's pretty nice, huh? If you're ever confused, you didn't quite get a lesson, you're not sure how to do this homework, you watch these videos and they will help you. Now, if you forget this one day, bummer. That means you do have extra homework. You will have to find a spare sheet of paper to take your notes on, and then you will have to do the daily Common Core and the practice sheet that night and turn it in to me the next day. So you need to remember to take this home with you every single day, except for Fridays, of course, because there will be no homework. Sound good? Let's get started on our first lesson. Now, we are on lesson 1-1, page 6. And we're going to take these notes together. If I write it, you write it. So we are starting with multiplication and understanding multiplication. Now, I know that some of this might seem really easy for you. And that's fine. But I want to make something very clear to you. I do not have smart people in this room. I do not want smart people in this room. I want hard workers in this room. Because someone who says, I'm smart, what happens when they come across something that is challenging, that they struggle with? Do you know what the first thing that goes through their mind is? Wait, I'm smart. I don't know how to do this. That must mean I'm not smart. Well, if I don't know how to do this and I'm not smart, then I can't do anything. I give up. Now, a hard worker sees something that's challenging. They go, oh man, this is really, really hard. I'm going to have to work really hard to figure this out. I might have to ask for help. I might make a couple mistakes and have to go back and redo it. But I'm going to get this done because I am a hard worker, and no matter what, I give it my best. Someone who says they're smart will give up the minute they have something hard come their way. They'll get discouraged. They'll feel like they're not smart anymore. They'll get really upset. But someone who thinks that they are a hard worker, it doesn't matter what you throw their way. Something's pretty easy, all right, you don't have to work as hard. Hooray. Something's a little bit more challenging, you might have to work a little bit harder. Good thing you know how to work hard. So that's what I want you to see yourself as. A hard worker who sometimes has to work a little harder than other times. And that's okay, because you got one of your biggest resources, me. I'm always here to help you. And these videos are always here to help you. And one of the best ways to learn is to get it wrong. Because when you get something wrong, are you going to do it that way again? No. Nope. So you can cross that way off your list and then you try another. There's a reason I have this eraser right here. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. If you're not making mistakes, you might not be trying. You might have just given up. Making mistakes means that you are pushing yourself and you are working hard to figure it out, no matter how many mistakes you make, okay? So I don't want anyone to ever feel like it is a bad thing to not understand something, or that it is a bad thing to have to ask for help. Never, ever hold yourself back. Always ask for help when it's needed. My favorite thing about Harry Potter is what Dumbledore says. You will find that help will always be given to those who ask for it. And I promise you, you will always get help if you ask for it. Here we go. Let's start our lesson. If I write, you write. All right. Multiplication. One of the first ways that we put multiplication together is using an array. Arrays are not always going to be used, but a good way to start our understanding of multiplication and how it works is by using arrays. Now, I've got grid paper here. That is the only paper we are writing on. One number per grid per square, one letter per square. That's going to keep everything nice and neat and organized and easy to read. So I'm going to write the word array. An array is objects arranged in equal rows. So if I were to say that I have 4 rows of 3 rubber ducks, and I were to draw an array that looks like that, it would be this. 4 rows of 3 ducks, okay? 1, 2, 3, that's 1 row. 1, 2, 3, that's 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 3 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Now, I have several different ways that I could solve this equation. I can do repeated addition. Repeated addition is this way. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Or it could be 4 plus 4 plus 4. Or it could be 4 times 3, because I have 4 3 times. All of these will get me the same answer, which is 12. If I have to, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can skip count. 3, 6, 9, 12. 4, 8, 12. I have several ways that I can use to help me get to the answer. I don't have to just go 4 times 3. I don't have to get there. If I'm not ready to be there, these are my other options. So let's look now at number 1 with these paper clips here. I'm going to skip a line and I'm going to write number 1. I always want to have a line in between my problems so that they are nice spaced out. You have plenty of space to write all this down on, so don't worry about running out of space. Number 1, it says, in 1 and 2, write an addition sentence and a multiplication sentence for each picture. So I'm having to write 2 different sentences. It did not ask me to draw an array, so I'm not going to do that. Number 1, what do I see here? How many paper clips? What do I see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paper clips, right? And how many times are they? There's 2 rows of them. So I have 5 and then another 5, right? Or I put a comma here. I have, maybe I could say it's the other way around. Maybe I can say it's groups of 2 5 times. So I have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Or I could use multiplication. And it is 5 times 2. No matter what, all of these equal 10. All of these equal 10. Skip a line, number 2. Now I've got butterflies here. How many groups of butterflies do I see? 3 groups. How many of butterflies are in each group? 3. So my addition sentence would be 3 plus 3 plus 3. Is there any other addition sentence that I could do? No, because it's a doubles fact. So I go into multiplication, which is going to be 3 times 3. Both of these equal 9. Skip a line, number 3. Write the number with a circle around it. Beth saw 2 groups of 4 moths. Draw an array to show 2 times 4. All right? 2 groups of 4 moths. Drawing that means here's 4 moths. Here's one group of 4 moths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's another group of 4 moths. 1, 2, 3, 4. My array now shows 2 groups with 4 in each group. Technically, I could also say it's groups of 2 4 times. 4 groups of 2. But when I'm reading the problem, I have to make sure that I'm showing one group of 4 and then a second group of 4. Now, because I made this one long, I'm going to put my next one over here. That way I'm not taking up lots of space. Number 4 says, how could you use repeated addition to find the total number of objects in 3 groups of 2? 3 groups of 2, repeated addition. Well, I would just do 3 plus 3, or 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's how I would show 3 and 2. Skip a line under 4 and let's go to number 5. Martha has 5 rubber ducks. Jim has twice as many rubber ducks. How many rubber ducks does Jim have? I have a key word there that's telling me exactly what I need to do. What is my key word?
Twice.
Twice. What does twice mean?
Double.
Double. Or in this case, times 2. She's got 5. He has twice as much. So 5 times 2, which equals 10. Now, for 6 through 11, that's independent practice. But because today's our first lesson, we're going to do it together. 6. I'm going to skip a line under 5. You know what? I'm actually going to start a new row here. Yep. So I'm going to put 6 down here. All right. I'm looking at these grapes. What do I see here in these grapes? What do I see in these grapes? There are 4, and there are 4 groups of them. So 4 groups of 4. And it says to write an addition sentence and a multiplication sentence. So I'm only going to write 1 sentence, even though I might have an option for 2. 4 groups of 4, all I'm doing is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Or 4 times 4. Which equals 16. Skip a line, go to 7. Now what do I see there?
Little balls.
Yes, but what is it showing? 3 groups of 6 or 6 groups of 3. It could be either one. Doesn't matter because they'll both equal the same amount. So let's say 3 groups of 6. 3 groups of 6 means I would do 6 plus 6 plus 6 or 6 times 3, which equals 18. All right, number 8. What do I see here for number 8? What do I see? 2 groups of 6. So 6 plus 6 or 6 times 2, which equals 12. Now in 9 through 11, it says just write a multiplication sentence for each addition sentence. So let's do number 9, down on the bottom. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. What multiplication sentence is that? And a good question to ask yourself is, okay, I see 3 how many times? 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Skip a square on the same line and then write 10 and put a circle around it. If you run out of space, you go onto the back. Okay, now I see 5, all right. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. And number 11. I'm running out of space, so I'm going to go to the back. 8 plus 8 plus 8, so that is 8. 1, 2, 3 times. 8 times 3 is 24. So not so bad, right? It's a pretty good start to math. Let's do a couple problem solving, and then you're going to go on to doing it yourself. So let's skip a square on the same line and go to 12 since I have lots of space on my other side. Which number is 33,003 in standard form? The best way to solve these kinds of problems is to actually say the numbers. Reading them, you can make some careless mistakes, but reading them out loud, you hear how they sound. 33,003. Okay, and look at A. Already, 333,000. No way. B, 303,000. No, it said 33,000. C doesn't look right either. D, 33,003. So D is my answer. And guess what? That's all I'm writing. D. Skip another square. Let's go to 13. Betsy's school needs $2,000 to send the band to the state finals. So far, they have raised $465 in a fundraiser. How much more money do they need? What is my key word there? How much more? That's telling me that I am going to do subtraction. So let me set it up. This is very important. This is why I use grid paper, for this reason right here. 2,000 minus 465. Now, am I going to write that 4 underneath the 2? No, they do not share a place value. I skip one because 4 is in the hundreds. 465. Now, every number is in its correct place value. Sometimes you write your numbers so small or so squished together that you kind of make mistakes and don't know which one you're subtracting from. So now I'm going to subtract. 0 minus 5, can't do it. Go next door to borrow. 0 minus 6, can't do it. Go next door to borrow. 0 minus 4, can't do it. Go next door to borrow. That's a lot of borrowing, so here's a trick. Box all the numbers except the last one. The last one's not cool. He's a little bit of an outcast. He doesn't get to join the club. What is 1 less than 200? 1 less. 199. And now this little outcast guy gets to be his own little number. He's a 10. This makes redistributing and borrowing a whole lot easier. Whenever you have zeros, you box all but the last one and then just make it 1 less. That way I'm not going, take away the 2 and make it a 1 and then borrow over here and then that's a 10, but then it becomes a 9 because I'm borrowing over here and that's a 10, but then that becomes a 9 because I'm borrowing. It saves you a lot of work and a lot of numbers written on your paper. Don't worry, we will see this a lot and we will keep doing this together a lot. Here we go. I can handle this. What's 10 minus 5? 5. What's 9 minus 6? 3. What's 9 minus 4? What is 1 minus 0? 1. Another thing you can do to help yourself out is if you cross all that out. So now I've got my answer, 1,535. No problemo. I can manage that. All right, let's do a couple more. Number 14. Jacob, Hannah, and their grandmother visited the petting zoo. 1 scoop of animal food cost $2. How much did their grandmother pay to buy a scoop for each child? What is the first question I have to ask myself? What is the very first question I need to ask myself that's going to help me actually get there?
How many kids are there?
How many kids there are? Because the question is, 1 scoop of animal food is $2. How much did she have to pay if she bought a scoop for each child? Okay, well, each child, Jacob, Hannah, and their grandmother. So it's just 2 kids. So if 2 kids each got 1 scoop, and 1 scoop is $2,
$4.
I'm going to do 2 times 2, which is 4. No problem. Yes, and then I can put my dollar sign and make it all official looking. We're going to skip 15 because I don't like it. 16. Taylor helped his father with the grocery shopping. He bought 3 bags of cheese sticks. Each bag contained 8 cheese sticks. How many cheese sticks were there in all? Keyword, each. Each bag. So there were 3 bags, and each bag had 8 in it. Well, what's 3 times 8? 24. 24. So my answer is C. Not so bad, right? When we slow down and we ask ourselves questions, it becomes a lot less work. All right, everybody flip to this page. Everybody flip to this page. Daily Common Core. Now today, I will go through it with you, showing you how to set yourself up. I'm going to go through it a little quickly. So do not try to answer everything as we're going through it. You will have time to go back and answer it. You're going to write your name on the top. This right here, over 16, that's going to be where your grade goes. There are 16 questions in all. The number right here will say how many you got right. If you missed one, you will have a 15 out of 16. If you missed two, you'll have a 14 out of 16. Things like that, okay? You're not going to get grades out of 100 on these. It's not going to show like 95 or 97 or 82. So let's go through this. Number 1, Celia used an addition expression to find 6 times 5. Which expression did she use? So I'm looking at 6 times 5. 5 is what I'm seeing here. So obviously I'm looking to see 5 6 times. That's what I'm searching for. For number 2, the Perez family is driving to visit relatives. The trip is 184 miles, and they have driven 48 miles. How many more miles do they need to travel? This is subtraction. I'm going to be doing 184 minus 48. Please do this work. Do not attempt it in your head. I need to see your work. Guess what happens if you do it in your head and you make a little mistake and you put the wrong answer? It's wrong. Guess what happens if you do the work here, you write down the correct answer, but then you make a silly mistake and you mark the wrong answer here? Is it going to be marked wrong or right? Guess what? I will mark it right. If I see you doing your work and I see that you have done the work correctly and that you just made a careless mistake and wrote a number that was maybe 1 off, or even you wrote the correct number here, but you put the answer over here as 1 off, I will give it to you because you proved to me you know how to do it and that you are a human being who makes little mistakes every now and then. If you do it all in your head and then you make that silly human mistake, you're not getting credit for the work you did in your head. If the answer is 27 and you wrote down 26, wrong, sorry. If your work proves that you understood how you got to that and that the answer is 27, but then you wrote down 26 over on the answer line, I understand. You made a mistake. I'm not going to penalize for you for that. That's the top reason to show your work right there. All right, pay attention. This one's a little weird. We're going to make a chart. It's going to help us out. Los Angeles is one of the largest cities in the United States. The population of Houston is less than that of Los Angeles. Chicago has a population greater than Houston, but less than Los Angeles. Phoenix has fewer people than Houston, which lists the populations of the cities from greatest to least. Good grief, that was a lot of stuff. Here's what I do to help my brain out. Los Angeles is one of the largest cities. The population of Houston is less than that of Los Angeles. So I'm going to write LA. And then I'm going to leave some space just in case something else needs to go there. And then I'm going to put Houston. Okay. Los Angeles is more than Houston. Chicago has a population greater than Houston, but less than Los Angeles. So I'm glad I left space there. Now Chicago goes there. Phoenix has fewer people than Houston. Okay. There we go. Well, I kind of just did all the answers there for you. By making a list, I got all the answers. Now all I got to do is find which one of these matches my list. It's nice when you do the work ahead of time. For number 4, what is another way of naming 900? 9 ones, 9 tens, 900s, or 9,000s? I literally just said the answer out loud. Uh-huh. Order the numbers from least to greatest. Least to greatest. Compare using less than, greater than, or equal to. 329 is greater than, less than, or equal to 785. Number 7, Una put the same number of carnations into 4 vases. If she used a total of 32 carnations, how many are in each vase? Okay, keyword there, each vase, meaning I've got a total of. So something is going to equal 32. Now there are 3 ways we can do this. You could do this. Here are my 4 vases. And I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and keep doing that until I say 32. That's a lot of work, but that is an option if your brain is just not up to doing other math. Another option is going, okay, well, I know 32 is my answer, and I know I have 4, so 4 times something is 32. The other way I can do this is 32 in all, and I'm trying to separate them out over 4 vases. How many go in each vase? So I can count. I can do multiplication where I find the missing number, or I can divide. Another way to do this is to skip count. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Keep going until you get to 32 and see how many fingers you're holding up. Lots of options to do that here. Look for a pattern and write the missing numbers. All right, whenever you see this, the first thing you do is not go to the first number. You go to the easiest number. And the easiest number is something with a 0 in it. How did I get from 20 to 6? I added 6. That's a lot easier to do in my head than anything else. Now I'm going to check myself. Is 2 plus 6 8? Yeah. All right. I'm going to check myself one more time. Is 14 plus 6 20? No. Yes. So obviously my rule is add 6. So this number right here is going to be 26 plus 6. This number right here is going to be whatever this number is plus 6. This number right here is going to be whatever this number is plus 6. Cool? All right, remember, you're not trying to get this done. You're just watching me, and then you'll finish it afterwards. Draw an array for a multiplication sentence for 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. You can do that one. Which of the following is the correct multiplication sentence for 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4?
It's got 2 pluses.
I know, we're crossing it out. So, all you got to do there, how many times do you see 4? Over here, write a multiplication sentence for each addition sentence. What do you see? Write me the multiplication version of it. No problem. For these 3 down here, these are going to be what gets you. Not because they're challenging, but because you guys like to skip over instructions. Write an addition sentence and a multiplication sentence. If there is not, you only need 1 addition sentence. You don't need to have 2. But you need 1 addition sentence and 1 multiplication sentence. That will give you 1 whole check. If you are missing a sentence, you only get half credit. So make sure you have an addition and a multiplication. And then at the bottom, draw an array using X's and write a multiplication and an addition sentence you could use to show how 12 juice boxes could be arranged to form an array. Explain why they are both correct. All right, all you have to do is figure out what multiplication equals 12 and what addition equals 12. You may not do 12 times 1. You got other options. Don't make pouty faces. You're capable of it. Once you filled out the multiplication, make the repeated addition for it, and then draw your picture. You need all 3 of those things to get a complete check mark for that. When you are done, You will then tear it out. Here is how you tear it out. You put your hand down on the black. You want to hold it steady because these things will pop out if you pull. Hold your hand down, pinch the top, pull, stop when it gets about to here. Lift your hand, slide it down, slide your thumb down. Hold it down and pull out. Last bit, go to the bottom, move your thumb to the bottom. If you keep pulling from the top, you could tear it. And you don't want to do that because sometimes it tears off your answers. And that would be a bummer. Cool? Ready? You got this. Go.